Hello, my beautifuls. I have been like choking for the last like 10 minutes off and on, so hold on a minute. Maybe that's a sign. Anyway, number once I get my bearings under me, this is a live. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Normally everyone's favorite voice in true crime. However, like I said, I can't seem to clear my throat enough to catch air, which is really weird. Like I started choking over nothing. Like I was just sitting here. It was like the air got really dry. Anyway, let's get into this. We're going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers, who is a missing 15-year-old child who has autism. Okay? Now, the Proudfoots are the mother and the stepfather, and the Rogers are the real dad. Okay? Now, today we're going to be talking about a clue. Like, it hit me. Boom! I was like, oh my God, there is an actual clue. There are several clues. And I want to kind of walk through them with you and see what you guys think. So, the mother was talking in an interview that we went over yesterday in our video. I encourage you to watch all those. We do have a Sebastian Rogers playlist, and I encourage you, say his name. Because we have to listen to, I don't know how many interviews in the last month between the mom and the stepdad, and they said his name for the first time ever last night on a podcast, in a sense. They called in. They weren't on camera, but they finally said his name in an interview. So everybody say Sebastian Rogers' name. Get his name out there. It's not getting the coverage. He isn't getting the, oh my God, what the hell happened here moment. And there is a lot to be said. There's a lot to look at, you guys. I want to welcome my all-star panel and our newest member. Welcome back, June Coggins. Congratulations, lovely, and thank you for joining our all-star panel. Hey, Tracy Gear. Hope your phone works for you. Jenny Troglin. Everybody that's here. Hey, Randy Potter. Good to see you. Welcome back, lovely. Thank you for being an all-star panel. Hey, Kimchi. Don. Riding solo. So you are watching a live or you are watching a replay. If you're watching replay, remember, my lovely, you have a fast forward button. And with that, use it as much as you feel necessary, whatever you would like. But I do want to thank you for replay. I greatly appreciate you. Hey, Jill Kendall, Tammy H. Hello, everybody. Smile now, cry later. Says, glad to see you're covering this case. I can't let this one go because there's something in clues. Now, let me see if this is the interview first. Yes, yes. Let's get down here. I didn't get the minute marked, but I want you to listen what she says at the end. I can't remember where it was.
Just try to stay with the facts and report all the things that are positive. Any ideas that may help. Trust me, all law enforcement are available and they are looking at everything.
Okay, so it's before that. It's when the mom is talking. She looks down at the construction site, the little toy. See this toy right here? Oh, you don't. Hold on. Hold on, my lovelies. I got it screwed up. That's what I did too. Ugh. Okay. There's a lot to go over here, and so I'm a little bit overwhelmed. But what I wanted to say is this interview with, I believe this is Chronicles of Olivia. Okay. This crane is like a Lego toy crane on the table. Now remember, we have heard through both the stepdad and the real dad of Sebastian Rogers that the dogs did track to a construction site. And the mother even clarifies that it's more of like a housing project. But why'd she put this crane on the table? Is it a clue? Is there guilty knowledge that is pushing her to want this to end? Okay, apparently I had a lot of music there. I told y'all I hit the wrong button, so I hope it's okay now. Let me check and see. Yeah, it's over. Sorry about the music. It's an automation. If I hit my thumbnail, which I hit the wrong button, it automatically plays. So I'm going to rewind and I'm going to try to explain this again. So I'm asking you if there's hidden clues being left by the mother. All right. So she literally is saying, as she's looking at the toy Lego crane on the table during this interview with Chronicle of Olivia, the mother looks at the crane and she says something to the effect of, we only need one clue. And she looks at the crane and locks her eyes on it. We need one clue, right? And I'm like, one clue. She might be giving clues. I can't remember who the 1111 was last night that threw that out in chat. That rang back in my head when I was thinking of this crane and her putting it on the table. Why is there a toy Lego crane on the table? Let's keep going. This gets interesting. Okay, let's make sure you can see everything, all right? So I would like to introduce to you, if you are unfamiliar with this case, Sebastian Rogers. And if you are familiar with this case, keep looking at this beautiful little face. He is a 15-year-old. He is into Minecraft. He loves music. He loves games. And I believe that Sebastian was very much a happy, busy kid. And I say busy because I think he likes to be creative. Minecraft is one of my favorite games of all times, or is the favorite game of mine, has been for years. All of you know it. Well, most of you know it. And it's a game that if that is his favorite game, I can tell you he likes to be creative. He likes to stay busy. He likes to have a purpose. He likes to feel like he's getting something done. So he left the house with no shoes missing, no coats missing, and no bones missing. There are no shoes that this child wore outside this home. There is no coat missing, not even an old jacket. There is no bones missing. But there is one thing missing. And Mom said we only need one clue. So let's do a little victim profiling. What is missing from the home is a keychain flashlight. Get ready, you guys. Mom says, let me move this up a little bit so that you can see, whoops. I want you to be able to see more of Sebastian, even if you can't see the mom. Mom says, Sebastian went outdoors to take the garbage, or she said trash. Let's change that. She said trash. All right, to take out the trash because it was his chore. Was it a clue? Remember, this child allegedly left the house at night and went outside. Could that be why he would have his little keychain flashlight? Now, I find it interesting because I have an autistic son, and he hates taking the garbage out because he hates to get dirty, and he doesn't want to go outside. and he's terrified of bugs. So the garbage is something that I assigned him to get over his fears, to develop a strength of reaching outside of his comfort zone and send him out there. Now, there have been times, even at 15, where he would ask me to stand at the door while he took it to the curb because he would get fearful. And of course I did. All right, let's continue. Mom says they had a good day. Sebastian was even behaving. And she uses the word even behaving. So let's think about what that means. What do you think of when somebody says, I won the chess game and we even played fair? I didn't cheat. What do you guys feel on that? Welcome, Erica Hartman, to 1111 True Crime. You said Seth is searching. They aren't. Very good point. Lee McKenna says, last night she was saying I called my husband, and the stepdad grunted. The bio father was on Nancy today and said, she's not my wife, she's my ex. I thought she's playing a game to get ex back. Oh, never thought of that. Smile Now, Cry Later says, I heard somewhere that the reason Ellie searched the landfill was because the trash can at their home seemed a little heavier than normal. Well, there's something about the trash. And I think I have it figured out because it's dark out. And I believe when we listened to the interviews in the past, there was something at bedtime that upset Sebastian. Because the mother talks about she wound up going to bed, which if you wind up, you're actually increasing energy. You're increasing. So it's a very peculiar way to describe going to bed. I wound up going to bed. Now you could be like, well, that's their dialect. Yeah, I wound up going to the grocery store. Well, if you wound up going to the grocery store, guess what? You're not liking it. You're disappointed that you had to do that because you didn't have the ingredient at home. So when you wind up doing something, it's a disappointment. It's a letdown. Why would bedtime be a letdown if you're going to bed? And so I really got to thinking about the trash and the flashlight. And I thought, are these clues? What are your thoughts? Could it be that the mother got wound up because Sebastian didn't want to do what she called chores? Remember? She said, Sebastian, she actually said, took the trash out because it was his chore. It wasn't because he wanted to. It was because it was his chore. Now, I find that interesting how she says he even was having a good day as if something changed. Well, we know the child went missing. What would that have to do with a good day? Right? Like we were having a good day even though he went missing? No, it's almost as if there's something hidden here. Like that they are omitting from the story at bedtime. So I got to thinking about what the victim's fears are according to the stepmother and the mother. That's interesting. Freudian slip. I feel like she's a stepmother, but whatever. She's not. She's the real mother, but she just puts that out there for me. I pick up on a disconnect between her and Sebastian on an emotional level. Anyway, that's just me. So, yeah, wound up a change of plans. Very good, Kimji. Thank you. The Jersey Lady One says, yep, trash guys told Ellie container was heavier than normal. All right. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, if we were to victim profile, we would assume, with what we've been told, that the victim's fears are being outside. He's not an eloper. He's not a runner. He's afraid of bugs. He's afraid of getting dirty, right? So already, Sebastian would have had to choose to go outside where the bugs are, and he's barefoot. Remember, there's no shoes. So he would be getting his feet dirty. So he has some comfort zones. We know indoors is his comfort. He likes it being well lit. In other words, it's something that he's not nervous around. And he likes to be clean. She said that many times. And tidy, which fits the diagnosis that she's expressing of the child having autism. Now let's talk about the victim's likes. The victim likes his phone, and he gets his phone when it's the appropriate time and he's behaving. He's allowed to have his phone, which he uses to watch YouTube Minecraft. Now listen to me, guys. She said he had a good day. He even behaved. Why doesn't Sebastian Rogers then be allowed to have his phone before bedtime? But he's not allowed to have it that night. So why? If the child is behaving, he even had a good day. Like, she's happy. She's looking at him, the stepdad, at that moment. And she only moves her head a couple times. So if this child had such a good day, his like is the phone. His like is to play games. His likes are to play Minecraft and listen to music. That's what his likes are. Why is none of this listed if he had a good day as to what took place? But none of this is listed. So the parents' narrative that they're expressing to us is that the victim is making a choice because the mother says, I don't know why he walked out that door. So she is suggesting that from her perspective, the narrative is that the victim leaves his house in the dark of night with no shoes, no coat, no phone, and only has a mini flashlight. So if we are to go with the parent's narrative, that would mean that the victim is choosing fear to face his own fears over comfort and safety. And need I remind you that shoes are at his disposal? He could simply slip them on. But even that, he's like, nope, I'm not even going to put shoes on. So if we're going with the parent's narrative, it's stating that this victim is subjecting himself to all his fears at once. Not one, bugs. Not two, to be alone in the dark. Not just having no shoes on and having to walk, but all his fears at once. And to leave his comfort behind. He's over it. So the victim, we are to believe then, after all these interviews where they finally said Sebastian Rogers' name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Victim chooses fear over comfort. I ask you right now, did he have a choice? Did this child have a choice? Welcome back, Cat H as a Starlight Seed. Tickety Boo says maybe he was carried out. Ah says that would be almost impossible thing to do for any child with autism, in my opinion. And I agree with you, that's why I'm doing this today, because even though we didn't get many views yesterday, this child needs awareness severely. This case needs full attention. All hands on deck. All eyes on board. Heads down on the desk. Let's get to work. Okay? Kim G says, I'm scared to throw the trash out at night. I make sure someone watches me or my man does it most of the time. You guys, I'm going to walk you through a theory. It's a very slim but plausible, possible alternative narrative than the parents because I cannot go with this narrative where Sebastian chose all his fears at once over his comfort. I can't. So I have to then hypothesize because I'm not being given the truth. Did the parents choose to reinforce a punishment by administering fear into Sebastian? No, I don't want to take the garbage out. It's dirty. It's dark. Sebastian, I told you to take the garbage out. It's dark. I'm scared. Now we all know, and listen close, that was the one night the motion sensor was not working. Boom. This, I believe, in this theory, is a catapult to the entire scenario that I'm about to share with you. I believe Sebastian refused to go out because the motion sensor light did not light his way. I believe he was told to go get his little tiny mini flashlight to take the garbage out. I believe Sebastian went and did that. I believe he came back to the door, and I believe he refused to go out, and I believe he's barefoot saying no. And I believe there was some posturing. I believe there was some posturing of not wanting to go out. I remember in one of the first interviews I personally saw, and I believe it's the first interview that we do analysis on. Mom was speaking to the camera in case Sebastian was listening. And one of the things she said is, you are not in trouble. You are not in trouble. Did this end a different way than we are thinking? So, see, stepdad said Sebastian refers to him, the stepdad, as Mr. Chris. Because Chris is all about respect, right? And I ask you, if there was some posturing before bed, regardless of what it was related to, and without that outside light working and the trash being brought up, is it possible that the mother was told or chose on her own to force the child outside and lock the door? To punish him barefoot, where his feet would touch the dirt, so that he would get over his fear. I'm just asking. Sebastian wears adult diapers at mom's and stepdad's, at Mr. Chris's, but not at real dad's. Every other weekend, Sebastian Rogers goes to visit Seth, his real dad, his biological father. And his biological father has told us he does not wear adult diapers when he is with him. Yet he does at the home. Is that a form of punishment? Or is it a form of this child showing severe trauma, of nervousness, of being scared of being feeling as though they're insecure, of belittling this child, of making them feel insecure. Stepdad describes himself as brash, arrogant, in your face, rigid, matter of fact, my way or the highway. Take the garbage out, take the trash out. Mom says we just need one clue. She is staring at the toy crane on the table. I think subconsciously the clue was when she called the stepdad and said, he refuses to take the garbage out. What am I supposed to do? She seems extremely submissive. The victim is in the worst nightmare. Alone in the dark, cold, with no food, barefoot on the dirt, no phone, no games, no music, with only a keychain flashlight. And you're going to tell me the child chose to leave? Was Sebastian Rogers being punished and locked outside? That's what I have for you, my lovelies. And I'm going to come up to top side and we'll go ahead and we'll talk a little bit. Let me get back over here. Go to bed, etc., says Gina H. Aw says, I have been pushing away the thought that the stepdad might have punished him in the point to leaving Sebastian alone with a tiny flashlight, but no shoes or coat to find his way home. That's horrifying. So what if the mother had to justify a few miles on her car? What if she was the one that took the child? What if it was the reverse? What if she went down the road to the construction site and she put him out of the car? And what if he made his way back home, but she didn't let him in? And then something nefarious happens. Mike O'Donnell says, too many cases for me. This is the one. I'm working on the cases that call me. I've gone as far as I can on the Madeline Soto case. I'll tell you right now, there's a lot more charges coming. And the mother is a suspect, qualified on the presser today, that everyone in Madeline Soto's case, everyone is a suspect. So we'll leave that on the table for now unless I'm drawn to do others. The Idaho 4, I've gone as far as I can, and I'm switching gears a little bit onto this one. I hope you'll go with me. He needs help. I'm only asking for help. The stepdad is a crane operator, isn't he? Yes, Tickety Boo, he sure is. Tammy says, what if she made him get in the trash can? That's horrifying. Pickle Toes Grandma, hello lovely. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a bit. He has a house key on flashlight chain. Pickle Toes Grandma, how can we know that though? Because I heard the opposite. I heard that the only thing was the keychain only with the flashlight, that there was no key. So how would we know that? Can you provide a link for us? Right. Lee McKenna says, Bio Dad Seth wants Sebastian to live with him. In fact, Sebastian was going there this summer. This is a pissing match. This is a pissing match. That is why Sebastian is gone, in my humble opinion. I believe Sebastian postured when he found out that light was out. And I believe it became a pissing match. Right, Lee McKenna. Oof, the guy said the bin was extremely heavy. I think it had something to do with the trash. I feel there had something to do with Sebastian seeing that that light wasn't working. She brings up that that was one of the last things he did before bed. He took out the trash because it was his chore. If Sebastian refused to take the trash out and postured, what was next? What happened next? What do you guys feel? Elaine Kuhn says, are all the cars and trucks kept in a garage? I don't know, love. The Jersey lady says, parents said, no keys on flashlight chain. Exactly. Cat H says that's why they searched the dump. And they came up at the landfill empty-handed. Okay. Pickle Toes Grandma says, interview with Smiley Stories last night. Okay. Well, we can check that out. I did see that interview. I did not hear that, but that doesn't mean that I didn't miss it because I was in and out of that. But I'll be honest. I don't believe a damn thing that the stepdad and the mother are saying right now. So I don't care if they tell me that, now they say all his shoes are missing. It doesn't matter. To me, they're suspects, in my opinion. And so I see them as Dawn and Candace Wells. I've distanced myself from giving a care what they think because of the fact that they have added on to the story. They're changing it as they go. And you're not going to change the story. You're going to give the full story the best of your ability, right? The very first time. And changing the story and saying now that you were yelling his name and then in the next interview now he's got keys. No, 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 no. And the 3-hour call, the snooper brings up the 3-hour call. Cat H says, and the lab interview with Biodad Smileys too. Right, right. I gotta go check my puppies. I'll be right back, you guys. I apologize, but I got somebody yelping, and my babies come first, and I'm sure that they just want something like a snack, but I gotta check. I'll be back. Oh my goodness, I'm out of breath. I ran the stairs. My son came home, and the dogs could see him outside, and they were so excited. Whew, I am out of breath. Who's Juicy Jules, hello, lovely. You say Candace Grandis. You correct. Fishy, no tears. Jenny Traglin, same. They were, quote, different last night. Yes. Said his name a lot, but it was scripted on her side and threatening on his side, in my opinion. Hey, Kimmy Burchett. Pierre Hyatt analyzed their conversations. Highly recommend it. Liz says, poor boy, I don't feel like he's around. Oh, goodness. Tiki Boo says, is there any proof the stepdad did return home that night? He could have taken Sebastian away in his vehicle, hence no shoes as he was carried out. Good question. Connie Owen, Biodad said he has 3 pairs of shoes, slippers, shoes that don't fit, and a pair of boots he bought at Mom's request. Correct, I did hear that. That is true. Smile Now, Cry Later says something is up with the mom and Chris. And I hope and pray that they come clean about whatever it is they're hiding and bring Sebastian home. Says, did anyone happen to rewatch the OG interview and catch who built that construction toy? Mm-mm. I never did hear. Maybe Sebastian built it. It was just a construction site, Lee. She's asking where the place that the dogs pointed out. Okay, so what we've heard, all right, is that it was a construction site, but it was where houses are built. So there were no large cranes or whatever. However, the stepdad, take it with a grain of salt, because it could be very misleading, in my opinion, talked about a little waiting retention pond back there that the dogs actually went all the way to and then just dropped the scent. SD, I don't know who that is. Gina H says SD was bragging Ellie didn't take fingerprints. It wasn't necessary. They said, I don't know who SD is, lovely. Sorry, Gina. Where was the place the dogs... Okay, I did answer that. All right. So, I don't want to get us too late today because I've noticed that our videos are getting to be 2.5 hours, and that's just too much for anybody to watch. And so we're only going to be on here for a few more minutes. Make sure you post what you want to ask or what you're talking about, and we can chat it up. And I feel like we need to get his name out there as much as we can. And so for members that want to do the members chat, and it's a public replay, so everybody can watch it, but the members get to chat. That's our members special. One time a week, we do tarot reading. It will absolutely be on Sebastian Rogers because he needs a lot of attention right now. Oh, Gina says Chris P. Oh, yeah, yeah. See, the stepdad. Says no, an old pair of tennis shoes that no longer fit, new tennis shoes mom bought him, and boots from Biodad, according to his Biodad. Okay, I thought he said slippers. I don't know. Tiki Boo says a scent could have been from before, not necessarily that night. That is true. That is something to keep in mind. Says, I think I saw the mom building that toy herself before the interview. Now that would be interesting if that were true, right? We don't know. Sarah Pagan says, has a real dad done an interview? Yes, and his name is Seth. And not only has he done an interview, but the real dad has been like out there, boots on the ground. His dad is a sheriff deputy, and has been canvassing the places with posters and all kinds of stuff, trying to get help for Sebastian. Right. Connie Owens points out very important thing. Step Thing was very aggressive out of the gate. In last night's podcast, he showed his true colors finally. Right. You definitely want to watch that interview. We're going to probably go over it tomorrow and break it down. And it's wonderful because they are not worried about camera and being seen, right? Because they do a call in together. And so we're going to break it down tomorrow. Oh, he is a prison guard, Cat H? I've never heard that. I've always heard that he was. In fact, I heard him say deputy sheriff. Yeah, I heard him say deputy to the sheriff. I've never heard, and maybe he does that. Maybe he's a prison guard too. 32 to 63 miles per hour. Good to see you. It was said Seth having to ask more people to search in a national. It was sad. Seth is asking more people to search in the national park. Okay, wow. Well, I feel we're all losing hope. We could only hold hope out so long when this child would have no way to feed himself or clothe himself or shelter himself. Right, the bio dad was on Nancy Grace, says Pickle Toast Grandma. But the bio dad barely even gets to talk on Nancy Grace. I was disappointed she didn't ask more questions and give him more airtime. But that's my opinion. Hey, Kimmy. Yeah, the Jersey lady said, bio dad is a deputy sheriff, and part of his work is in the county jail. Yep, it's both. Jillian says anyone who can hit a disabled child with a belt is a monster in my eyes. Stepdad should not have been let around Sebastian. Hit who with a belt? Did I miss something? What did I miss? Somebody help me, please. I'm like flabbergasted. Who said that? Did anybody make a claim that Sebastian's been hit with a belt by the stepdad or the mother? Has anybody ever made that claim? Lee McKenna says, as Nancy says, where's the baby? Right? The teenager. The Wanda light. Seth has blisters on his feet and he's out there searching a huge national park. Oh my God, my heart's breaking for this dad. It was on a podcast. Well, unless we have proof of that a belt was used, I'm not going to say that. I have never heard that. I so agree she is rude at times. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I ain't going to say it. Blue Eyes Dumplings, hello, welcome to 1111 True Crime. You say yes on Smiley's World. Dad claimed he gave him one lick with a belt. Are you saying the real dad or the stepdad? Stepdad disciplined with a belt. Yes, the lab. Okay, the stepdad said he spanked him with a belt for lying high hopes. What? Smile Now, Cry Later says, yes, last night Chris said he hit him with a belt. I heard that he hit him with a belt, said Red Rose. Lee and I are both saying, Christ, this is getting worse. In the name of Jesus Christ, protect this child. Connie Owen says, Step Thing said he hit him with a belt because he wasn't wearing his belt. He said, let that punish him fit the crime. I didn't hear that. I must have just dozed off during that interview, which is possible because I had stayed up the night before playing Minecraft and I got tired. I bet you I missed out that interview. Oh my God, let the punishment fit the crime. And I broke this open with saying to you, the light was out. The big censored light, motion light is out. It's time to take the garbage out. Let the punishment fit the crime. I'm going to pound the table. I'm pulling a Nancy Grace. Was Sebastian Rogers locked out of that house in the dark, barefoot, with nothing but a little flashlight and no coat. And yes, this lady needs to quit screaming. Yes, I do. I heard somebody say, get this lady to quit screaming. I'm freaking out. Let the punishment fit the crime. Another clue right here today on this channel. I'm just telling you, my gut is screaming here. It had something to do with the trash. Taking the garbage out. Real dad said he doesn't want to speak ill of the mom and stepdad. That's because a real dad doesn't even give a shit about them. He only cares about his son. He wants his son back. And he's going to find his son. About 1 hour and 7 minutes into the video, I think. Bingo, says Kim. Lee says, in my opinion, that's absolute abuse. 32 to 63 miles per hour. How can Seth hold his temper? No step-parent should discipline someone else's child. Okay, that's one thing I promise you. There has never been a step-parent allowed to touch my children in any disciplined way. Ever. Ever. That was my job. I gave birth to these babies, and I know if they need, like a timeout, or if they need, like, everything taken away from them, or grounded, or if, when they were little, I'd be like, you're 3 years old, you spit on your brother, you spit in his face, you're going to stand in the corner. You're 3, you get 3 minutes on your toes. you know. So, I mean, this is really getting crazy. High hopes. I'm born and raised in Hendersonville, and I cannot for the life of me understand how Hendersonville police know what someone facts in this town yet can't find this kid. Hmm. Where Girl 113 says, we all know he was taken out of the house without his shoes because he didn't need them anymore. Was it over the garbage, you guys? Was it over Sebastian not wanting to take the garbage out because that big light was out? Because that's the only thing before bed. And she laid it out there. She's like, I told him to go to bed. He was wound up. He took the trash out because it was a chore. Ellen Robinson says, my opinion, slapping of hands together, background noise. Tiki Boo says, maybe mother looking at the crane to give signal that stepdad is guilty. She's scared of him. Boom! Tiki Boo, tickety boo. You just never know. Hazel Croft, I haven't seen you in forever. Welcome back. You say, in my opinion, Seth was culpable too. The abuse by Chris has been going on a long time, but Seth did not rescue him. Warrior Girl 113 says, I wish they can get the bones for the mom and stepfather, track them over the time supposedly went missing. I thought it was interesting that mom throws out this news story about how she literally woke up in the morning, tried to wake him for school. He wasn't there. All right. And then she runs around the house, and then she said she called the stepdad, not the dad, who lives much closer. Stepdad's 250 miles away. She can't find her kid. She calls somebody that's 250 miles away, the stepdad, right? Uh-huh. Anyway, she says she got in her car and drove around. And I'm like, is she trying to justify miles on her car? Was there some movement the night before? Did they check where the construction site dumpster goes to? What landfill that goes to? I'm just asking. Are they married? Yes, Lee, they are married. They're the Proudfoots, don't you know? High hopes and neighborhood cameras have the mom and him coming home Sunday and only trash leaving till they reported him missing. I don't know what that meant. I missed something. Where Girl says, I feel he is along the road to where the stepfather works, a 2-hour drive. Hazelcroft says, yes, I haven't been here before, but I have seen you in chats, I think. Yes, I have seen you. Whale Girl 113 says, yes, first it was looking in garbage, then she drove around, and why not call Biodad? I agree. And we're going to end right here with this little thing I want to bring up. Why is that little flashlight missing? If that was on his body, but he didn't take his shoes, is that the ultimate clue? Is that little flashlight? Because if he always has it on him, then let's say the child becomes deceased and there are people removing the body, they may get rid of the body not even thinking about that little flashlight. But forget about the shoes, because maybe Sebastian didn't walk out on his own at all. Maybe he was carried. We will continue to work on this case. I love you all very, very much. I pray for Sebastian. I pray for Seth. And please help get Sebastian Rogers information out there. 15-year-old autism missing from Tennessee. I love you so incredibly much. And just continue to do what you do best. Be you. Love you. Bye for now.